Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our joint study session with our Parks and Recreation Commission. This is Tuesday, October 28th. In compliance with state law, City Council special and regular meetings are held in a hybrid format with in-person, telephonic, and virtual options for public viewing and participation. With that, we'll call this meeting to order, and we'll just have everybody go around the room. Start with Beth.
Beth Porter, City Council.
Wes King from the Commission.
Debbie Hartsock, City Council.
Connie Elliott, Parks and Recreation Commission.
Rashawn Smith on the council.
Jeff Wagner, your mayor.
Laura Morrissey, Parks and Recreation Chair.
Jennifer Harja-Housing, Council.
Mackenzie Woods, Commission. Christina Soltis, Council.
Joe Simomo, Council.
Ethan Newton, Parks and Recreation Director.
Great. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Pleasure working with you and having a joint session with our awesome Parks Commission. With that, we'll move into items for discussion. Let's review and discuss Parks and Recreation accomplishments and priorities. Might turn that over to you or Ethan. Okay.
Well, Council, thank you for sitting down with us and taking an hour to deep dive into all things parks. So we want to share with you the things that are important to us as your citizen representatives. If you have information that you want to share with us or things that you would like to know from us, we also want to hear from you. But we have enough material to fill the hour and just download if that's what you would like. So I just want to note there's a couple of council members who may still be on their way unless Ethan knows otherwise. But I know like Robert commutes from Issaquah, could have very readily got caught traffic. And, so those things happen. Hopefully they'll be here pretty quick. So if you don't mind, just because you see me quite often, the council members, or sorry, the Parks Commission members who are here, I was hoping that it would be okay if they just took a moment to introduce themselves to you again, and maybe just share like what brought them to the Parks Commission in the first place. If that's all right with you. Wes, would you mind?
No. Wes King just joined the commission this year. It's been almost a full year. It's been an amazing opportunity. Really fun. I got into the Parks and Rec Commission. My background is recreation management. It's what I went to college for, and so I just wanted to start giving back to the city that I live in.
Thanks, Wes.
Yep.
Connie?
Yeah, I think I know most of you, and it's so great to see you again this year. I've been serving on the Parks and Recreation Commission. This is my second tenure on the commission, and I really enjoy bringing the voice of the people to the council and advocating for the things that my neighbors and friends in the city are avid about, and making sure that we are representing all elements of the community, families, the rest of all the different kinds of diversity that we have here in the city. So happy to be here tonight with you.
And I know you guys see me up all the time, but I'm often reporting on what we talk about with meetings, but what motivates me and what drives me to be on the commission is just, I see so much potential that the city has, and we have the building blocks and like the pieces of it all in place, and it's grown and been put together so well in the 10 years or more that I've been on the commission. I'm just really excited to see it continue to build, and I am so optimistic about what Covington could be in terms of Parks and Rec. So, Kenzie.
I'm Mackenzie Woods. This is my second year on the commission. I'm relatively new to Covington, and I really just wanted to serve my new community and ingratiate myself in the community and make a difference here if I can.
Annie.
I'm Annie Sheely, and I've lived in Covington off and on since like 1982. So I really just wanted to join the commission to like know what's going on in my community and to be more involved and to just like serve the community. And so, because I've been here for so long, and I felt like I didn't know a lot about everything that was going on. So it's been a really great opportunity, and it's my second year.
Sweet. Yeah, Rob, you're right there. And actually, you're right in time. I can put you on the spot where just Parks Commissioners are just giving brief introductions.
Hi, I work in Issaquah, so it's hard to get here by sight. Good to meet you all, Rob Poole. I'm Mayor Costco, not with the building here in Covington, but
Clearly.
but
Yeah.
yeah.
We were just talking about like what motivates us to be on the Parks Commission.
Yeah. father, two kids in the city. I grew up in Covington. Then we moved here. I was born in Kent. We moved here in '89, settled in. We've been in the area now for decades and decades. So once my wife and I had our first kid, we were living in Seattle at the time and had to get back to Covington because this is where family is and a little smaller town. So coach on a lot of the Parks and Recs teams. So it's always fun. And then obviously two kids in the school system and just loving Covington. So good to see y'all again.
And I'll say, council, for you guys, just so you know, you have a very well-balanced Parks Commission. You've got new to residents, long-term residents, people with older kids, people with younger kids, people with fur babies, people with no kids. So you've got quite the variety representing you here today, representing the citizens of Covington. So in front of you is paper, Parks and Recreation priorities, and we've broken it up into sort of past, present, and future. And so we wanted to just share with you guys what we as the commission have seen happen in Covington that's important to us. And at any point, feel free to ask questions or jump in should that be needed. And then I'm going to try not to talk the whole time and make sure that everybody else on the commission can throw in their ideas as much as they want. So one thing that you have maybe heard me say frequently when I'm up there presenting to you about our meetings is that there's a lot of demand for Parks and Rec programs in the city. Especially the aquatic center tends to be full or over full, depending on the time, but also athletics and the rec programs, the special events that are done, those have grown quite a bit. Whatever the Parks Department does, I keep wanting to say Parks Commission, whatever the Parks Department does, continues to be in demand by the community. The events are attended, the classes are attended, the athletic fields are full, the swimming pool is full. So that's just sort of a general umbrella that we see happening in the community. And some of us have felt that because we've tried to register our kids for swim lessons. Do you want to say anything about that? Or
yeah, it's been difficult in the past to register, but it seems to be going a little bit smoother now. So, it just fills up really fast.
Immediately.
Or does it go smoother? Is there something that we've done? I don't know.
Priority to.
Yeah, priority to
Yeah,
Covington
okay.
residents.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Here at present.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
but I think since we're one of the only communities that has a pool, you know, a lot of other people from other places are coming to Covington because we have a great pool.
We do. Yeah. So that's kind of the whole umbrella that we kind of see happening whenever Ethan gives us reports or we see things happening. It stuff is full. The other thing that we have noticed a change in as the commission is that we feel like park maintenance has really improved. Park safety has improved. We know that as the council, you guys have put a focus and a push on that, and we really appreciate it. And we see a difference, like as people out about in the community. We as a commission have especially noticed it in Covington Community Park. So I just want to make sure everybody from the commission today may want to jump in with like specific things they saw before I keep talking.
It just feels safe and nice. I go there like at least once a week with my son.
So, yeah. My mother-in-law was living with us for a while and she said, I want to go walking. Where's a good safe place to walk? I'm like, CCP, you will have no problems there. I have been up there all throughout the summer and into the fall running with a group of ladies at 6 o'clock in the morning. Never felt like the safety was an issue, even when it started to get dark. And the maintenance in terms of that, like a lot of the paths back in the back part of the park were affected by the bomb cyclone. Those have been repaired. Just in general, that park is staying in good repair. It looks well taken care of. It looks nice. It looks clean. And when something looks like it's well taken care of, it makes it easier for the people in there to respect it. I know that doesn't happen 100% of the time. That's a different bullet point, but
It's also a
that later.
deterrent to,
yes,
you know, to the elements that we don't want in there. You know, when they see something like that, I think that they feel like, you know, it's well attended and supervised. Like it's going to be hard for them to do bad behavior.
absolutely. Yeah. When Jesse, maintenance supervisor, came and gave us his report, he talked a lot about the benefits of adding that 4th park maintenance worker, which I know was something you guys agreed to fund, and we can see the benefits. Like we can see that paying off. So we wanted to make sure to share that with you. Anybody else from the commission want to add anything?
I just want to add that the field at CCP especially has been so, and that's been noticeable for, when we've gone to visit the park and when we've had out of town visitors visit CCP. Yeah.
Is that different from, say, 2 years ago?
I think so.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Have you noticed a difference at Jenkins Creek Park? Because I know
Yeah.
that was, you brought a concern to us a
Yes.
couple of years ago about the
Yes.
safety of that trail.
Yeah, so Jenkins Creek, I feel like they're trying. I can definitely see the maintenance team trying. My honest opinion is I don't feel like they're there yet. So Jenkins Creek is a difficult park because of the sightlines, and really that's what it comes down to is the sightlines. Now that we have that new parking lot there, if you think about it, when you park in that parking lot and you walk over the bridge and you enter the park, you basically go through a tunnel of trees and brush, some of which, as far as I understand, does need to be there because it is wetlands with that stream there. But that is kind of a sightline issue. That does make you feel a little bit like, oh, nobody knows I'm back here. The park is divided into two pieces. There's the lower level, there's the upper level. There's a whole row of trees blocking visibility in between. Again, that's a sightline issue. I know that the maintenance team is, and I've seen them try really hard to cut down the brush on the lower level and the kind of the bushy plants and those types of things that also prevent good sightlines, but it's really hard to keep on top of that. So I've seen them try as I've run through there, but that park in general is hard. And my opinion is it's going to continue to be hard until we can actually master plan, go through the master plan, which does address all of those issues. But they are trying for sure. I have seen a difference in the trying, but they're just not able to be on top of it because I think by nature, it's a hard park. Ethan, do you want to add anything to that or anybody else from the commission?
Well, I think the things that we like about that park is that it's very natural and it's very, it's not commercialized, I think that's what we like about it, but it does present some challenges in terms of visibility and the things that we talked about. And I think what you said, the master plan, I think when the trail eventually comes through there that connects, the area around Red Robin and Founders Park all the way down. I think that will change because that trail is going to be much wider and there will be some clearing of trees and vegetation along that upper level. So I think that's going to help a lot. But I think, some of the things we like about it are the things that make it slightly challenging when it comes to that.
True.
So I'll let Ethan add.
Yeah, I don't know if I really have much to add. I would just reiterate what's been said in that I think there's challenges to the site and that over time, as you're able to make those improvements that are identified in the master plan, those will increasingly help those safety concerns.
Annie?
Yeah, so I took my son there a lot when he was younger, 2, and now he's 7. And when I took him there when he was younger, we went a few times and it just felt unsafe. We ran into situations that I didn't feel safe in. But I did take him back a couple times recently. And while the sightlines was an issue for me. That was the only issue, but I felt safer than I did 5 years ago.
Mhm.
The only thing that still made me nervous was that no one could see.
Yeah. And that park, like Connie said, is hard because the things that we like about that park, the things we treasure about that park, the natural areas, just by virtue of being natural areas with lots of vegetation, make it hard to have good sightlines and for people to feel safe. So yeah, does that end? That probably more than answers your question.
So it's somewhat improved, but yeah,
Yeah.
I get it. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, Jeff.
I forgot to state that Regan is joining us from the International City Managers Association conference, so he's online.
Yeah.
My apologies, Regan.
Thanks, no worries, Jeff, thanks.
International?
Yeah. Oh, Regan, they want to know, are you really international?
No.
Like,
He's in
No, I'm in Florida, it's the International City Management Association. Yeah.
Question. I know we just got out of a meeting. with planning commission. But is there a particular spot that the site visibility or a couple trees without which we would see a lot more and create visibility? Because I know we do mitigations.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
So why not do it in something like this where I love these, I really do. But if there's a way to have everybody feel safe and leave as much as possible, but just like a particular spot that like
Right,
and
right.
just remove a couple
Yeah,
and maybe mitigate with like planting trees in a different location.
right.
Or something.
Yeah.
Something to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, my answer off the bat, and just so the council knows, I live like 5 minutes from Jenkins Creek. I often run through Jenkins Creek as a connector to other points in Covington, so I'm kind of through there a lot. In general, you know, there's the path that goes through the park. And so, and then there's the upper level and the lower level. The lower level it depends on which way you're facing, but the lower level kind of from the path to the park boundary, to the pond, to the parking lot, that sort of square tends to get a lot of brushy vegetation. And in the past, they have mowed like paths through there to encourage people to walk through. I'm not super sure how successful that was. I think it was very well intentioned. I think the people that did end up walking through are not really the type of people that you would prefer to have walking through. So, and I also am not so sure that you just want to like clear cut the whole thing.
Yeah.
But removing as much as possible from that lower section will definitely help. There's a house kind of on the other side. And I think there's something that feels a little bit safer about being able to see the house. And so if you can see the house, like see, oh, there is somebody or something over there, just there's sort of a natural kind of feeling of connection there. So that would be kind of my offhand suggestion is get the vegetation down so you can see the house from the path.
Pretty soon you'll be able to see, what is it, 12, 14 townhomes going in.
It's really our favorite, but that's
It's getting
outside
rid
of our
cleaning
purview.
up that one house.
Yeah. So, and that might make kind of a difference too, because all of a sudden you're going to have more height, you're going to have more eyes looking in. It could be good. It could be, I don't know. Yeah. So we'll see how that changes kind of the character of the park and like the way people interact with the park. So yeah, since we're on Jenkins Creek, anything else, Commission, about Jenkins Creek or? So, okay. All right. Okay, so kind of pivoting sort of, but not really, one of the recent accomplishments related to Jenkins Creek is the trail. So Connie referenced the trail, the Jenkins Creek Trail. There's a master plan for the whole trail, and then there's pieces of it that are being in process right now. And there's Jenkins Creek Park Phase 1 improvements. That's all master planned. That's all kind of complete. The Phase 1 improvements are the parking lot. So, and there's bathrooms, which I'm really happy to have because people who are out moving about on foot sometimes have to go to the bathroom. And
Now we have one with Starbucks.
Yeah.
right, exactly. So, yeah. And then we got grant funds. So, I mean, there's a whole list of grant funds. The Parks Department has been very successful about getting grant funds. One of the things that is really great is this grant for the aquatic facilities, for the pool liner, but also for the changing rooms to make those little like bathroom things in the lobby universal changing rooms. Because right now the pool doesn't have an option for parents who want to keep their children with them when their children are older than 6, or people who for whatever reason don't feel comfortable being in a group changing room. There's no option at the pool. And so that's been a struggle, both for some people who use the pool and also for staff who are being asked to provide an option and there's literally not one for them to provide. So that will be really, really great. And then the last point that we have is we feel as the commission that community engagement, like we've seen that step up, and we feel like the city is doing a good job with that versus in the past where it's been a little bit spotty. Like we feel like we've seen more of a concerted effort, more of a push to engage the community. So we've noticed. Yeah. Okay, so commissioners, anything you want to throw in there before I move on to current priorities or any questions from the council? Okay. So that was sort of past, but current priorities, I guess recent past, current priorities are what's happening right now. So what's happening right now, that's important to us. We've got the Jenkins Creek Trail Phase 1 currently in design with construction anticipated to start next year. So that little piece will go from Jenkins Creek Park along the backside of Home Depot and terminate at Kent Kangley by Red Robin. And that is the first piece of the trail that will eventually connect up into the Lake Point development and then down into Founders Park. And so that will be our, oh, and you can see there's a little picture on the bottom. The trail design, there's a couple of places where they're gonna figure out the alignment, but that's the basic, what they're working on right now and what they will construct in the future. When we look at our pros plan, trails are the #1 thing that our community requests. I think it's like 86%. We have not been able to deliver on trails for a while. So this is really great. It feels really small. It's ridiculous how much something like this costs. But we've got some grant funding and we're like, it's a step, right? We just keep stepping forward as much as we can. The other thing that we see is the MPD. We are very excited about it. We range from very excited to very passionate. We see what a benefit this is going to be for Covington, how it can help. Commissioners, anything you want to say about the MPD or I keep talking?
No, I will say that we had great engagement. What event was that over in the parking lot of the
Covington Days?
I guess it was Covington Days. Yeah, I was at the booth at
Yeah, it was Covington Days, yes.
And I had a long conversation with your mother-in-law. And I had really great feedback from the citizens that I talked to, because we had all the signs out there for all of our projects. And I had really great feedback from the Covington residents that I spoke with, but I believe it was because I explained what we wanted to do and how we would not be able to do it without a specific funding source dedicated to these projects. And so most people, once you explain that to them, because they want these things and they're eager, to have these things. And once you explain all of it, then they get it. It's like, okay, I can see how we can't just magically, spend millions of dollars. It would have to come from somewhere else. So I can see how a fund set aside specifically for this use would benefit the city. And so I noticed a lot on the survey feedback, some less enthusiastic comments about an MPD. But I think once you have a chance to talk to people, and that's why I think the community engagement is so important, because once you have a chance to talk to them and explain, what an MPD is, how it works, what the money is used for, then I think there's a little more trust from the citizens in, being taxed for this money that isn't going to general fund. It's going to a very specific thing that they care about. I had much more success with that than I think if people just saw this and wondered how in the world we would fund it. So I think it's just a matter of continual outreach, making sure that we're getting out and talking to all the special interest groups in the city, all of, associations, every time we can talk to people and get in front of people and explain it, I think we'll be much more successful in our endeavor.
I had the shift at Covington Days right after Connie. And one thing that I did notice, people don't understand the difference between Covington and King County. And so there was a lot of confusion between like, wait, there's already a parks levy on the ballot. Like, no, that's King County. And here's what that means. And here's where that money is going to go everywhere. And then if Covington does it, it stays right here. And explaining that was really helpful to them, but also just a reminder that people don't understand how their systems of government work. So. And unfortunately, then they make decisions based on information, you know, that, or they extrapolate from one piece of government into another piece of government, and that's not accurate or fair sometimes, but they're working within what they know. Yeah, Deb.
Thank you. I was just gonna say that we encourage HOAs to invite council members to come and speak.
That's good.
And at the last two that I've spoken at, that was a really big topic, and but they were very enthusiastic about it. As I noted also at Covington Days, I think all of us council members working the booth saw that. But they are eager for what could come from that. So.
Yeah. Which is good. So hopefully with this MPD, and the Parks Commission is here to help and support in whatever ways we legally can, whatever capacity we personally have available. So we definitely want to hear about those opportunities or those needs when the time is right. But I do feel like what Connie said, when the information was presented in front of people, then they were like, oh, actually, this is a good thing, something that we can get behind. So the vast majority, yeah.
So besides our tabling events, how else can we get that? Because that's what I found.
Right.
Too. Once you can explain it to them, they're in a place where they've got time to actually talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, people, okay, that makes sense. So the trick is, how do we do that?
Get that? Yeah.
What are we thinking about between now and then?
Right. You know, off the top of my head, I would say, well, and I'm going to preface everything I say with, unfortunately, it all takes time, right? And that is some type of resource. Time is a resource. And that's resources we seem to all be short on just because we all have lives. However, having said that, I think actually Covington athletic events are great opportunities. You've got, especially like soccer, you got parents standing around on the sidelines watching. I mean, little kids soccer games, there's a lot of downtime. It's an opportunity to kind of work the crowd, go through, would you like some information? Can I answer any questions for you? I'm a parks commissioner, I'm a city council. Do you have any questions about what's happening? Offhand, that's kind of the first thing. Yeah.
I totally agree with you that every single time I'm out there watching soccer, it's like, I feel like I can be multitasking. Give me something, you know, like not just it.
Yeah.
But it's like any campaign.
Yep.
Any campaign. What I've found in the last 4 or 5 years of us with multiple campaigns, education, this piece, the TP, everything. People don't want to leave their homes.
Yeah.
Unless they have to leave their homes, and they've already left their home for a different reason. But if it's specifically for this, they don't want to leave their home. So we have to come to the home, whether it's a flyer, which probably wouldn't be a terrible idea. I know we send out, you know, the sports, Parks and Rec.
Yeah.
The recreation guide, yeah.
Flyer, whether it's something, okay, that's in there, or something that comes to their home.
Yeah.
And actually happens.
Yeah.
Or could we do a social media strategy around it? Or I don't know, in addition to that, I don't know what the legality of things are. Can we advocate?
We can't advocate, but we can give facts.
Okay.
Yeah.
So educate.
Right.
Yes. Yes.
If I could jump in, a good tactic, and this is something we did with our last ballot measure, is really promote it, because we can say whatever we want about it before it's on the ballot.
Okay.
And so if we start a plan now before it gets on the ballot to really educate people, then once it's on the ballot, they know what it is.
Yeah. And I don't know if, just go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I mean, I think one of the things that worked really well last time for the TBD is that we were very pragmatic and realistic about what that extra money would. I mean, we're very good at estimating and being conservative, so we don't overpromise something, right? And that's where the trust breaks down between all of this, right? So I think having that captured in that 1-page sheet, if this, then that, this is what we need to keep things status quo. This is what we want if we're going to build on, and making sure that they're armed with accurate information and that we're all saying the same thing. Because if one person says one thing and the other, and then there's mixed messages, and then it looks like,
right.
I mean, it's just easy for us to stay focused if we're all
Yeah.
consistent, I guess.
Yeah, and just so council knows, and I hope I'm not jumping ahead too much, Ethan, but when Ethan gave us the presentation on an MPD, because like some on the council, on the commission didn't know, like, what is an MPD? So he gave us sort of an information piece on what that is, what that looks like. And he broke down, okay, if we tax at this level, we'll bring in this amount of money. Here's a sample list of projects we could do. This level, this amount, here's a sample list that's a little longer. So I mean, it's not a finished product, but he did kind of go through and show us that. And so that's something that we could, I'm volunteering Ethan, I'm not on staff, but it's something that could be done.
I can just add, I think the council and the commission more or less have seen that same presentation and have seen that information. Since then, we have received a financial model from Casey and her team worked with some consultants to get it that will be able to help us run different scenarios of different levy rates. What would that revenue look like? And then you can use that information to plan what projects or what package of projects might that be able to fund. So you can then say, if it's funded, you could deliver this. So that will be information and some choices ahead.
And to what Christina said, like, I'm with you about leaving the house. I mean, COVID actually saved me as Parks Commission chair because I was just done leaving the house. So the ability to do things over Zoom was what enabled me to keep going. So I don't know if we use Zoom as an option. I know it's had mixed results with community engagement, but I also know that if you put something about money in there, people's ears perk up pretty readily. And so that is perhaps something to be considered. Again, it takes resources, right? It'll take a time resource, a staff resource. And I don't just like throw it out lightly, like you guys have all the time in the world, but those are my suggestions offhand. Any others from the commission?
Well, I love what Debbie said about being at HOA meetings. I think that's a great way to reach, you know, a large number of people. We have so many organized communities in Covington that I think that's a great way to get the word out too.
The only problem is they give us maybe 10-15 minutes on their agenda and they've got a long list of public safety and a lot of updates, but it was well received and we left them flyers too. So if I can just add one thing, maybe, you know, talking about Zoom, maybe one way to get people to view what we have to share would be to pre-record something well done that has a couple slides and talking through it. So they're seeing a face and a personality and some statistics and just record that and throw the link on our website. You want to hear more about MPD, click here or send out a flyer with the link. And so it's a consistent message. Everyone's going to hear it. Well done, precise, personality.
Maple Valley has been doing that with a lot of their informational topics, and I find them fascinating in like a minute.
They're quick. You don't have to sit on a Zoom.
The quick is, I
and
think,
it's at your time.
Yeah, I think people would probably, I mean, I'll speak for myself. I like that idea way better than getting on a Zoom. Just being able to, it's more convenient. You don't have to be there at a certain time. You can do it in your pajamas.
You can watch it from your phone at a soccer game.
And we could do it like almost like a podcast where, you know, like somebody interviews Ethan and talks about it. And we lob the softballs out there and, you know, he answers the questions, you know, we pose the questions that we want our community to ask. And then we have somebody answer them so that, you know, we're getting that. And that format, I do that in my industry and that format works really well. It's not, you know, speeds and feeds kind of thing. It's more of a fireside chat, if you will. And I think that something like that would be great. I know that podcasts are growing in popularity and that's kind of that format, that casual interview format. I think having something like that pre-recorded would be great.
I like your idea about the balls. I could see somebody tossing a baseball and he goes, and this question is, so it brings in and even like on the back of the recreation guide, maybe even having the QR code going to a video or some such, like somewhere really visible. So even if you don't really think you would be flipping through for a class, because not everybody does, you can see that there's something coming up
Right.
that could impact them.
They would have
Should
to
weigh in.
pass it.
This is a really, so when I think about what got me involved in the city, it was the Budget Action Priorities Committee, the BPAC committee, like way back in the days when dinosaurs roamed the earth.
Yeah.
That committee, not that long ago.
That was too.
But
resemble
that,
that.
I mean,
Yeah,
that
that's a long
like,
time.
that information completely changed my way of thinking about government, about the city. It was so powerful. And so I've always wondered, like, how do we share that type of information with our community about how government works, about what really is in our budget? How much of it is discretionary? Not a lot, guys. And so I wonder if not only could this little idea of like little pre-recorded videos be used for an MPD, but also just to educate people in general. Like, you guys are not a bunch of blood-sucking, greedy politicians out to promote your own egos and just like take out of the like. So there's a reason why things happen the way they do. And it's usually a very understandable and like logical reason, not based on selfishness, not based on politics, but because Covington government is within a structure that is established for us by bigger entities. And so even just understanding that as a taxpayer, I think is helpful to understanding, why are we asking for an MPD? Well, we have so many limitations, we have no other choice. It just makes things so much clearer. So especially for people who are very reluctant trusters, which I was before that. So I'm conquered. So anyway, I think that's actually a really great idea.
BPAC, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I would love to see another BPAC, but again, I don't know if that would work like it used to, because that was a long time ago. 15 years ago?
No, it's a
No,
13.
Oh, 13, okay, yeah, so, but we have different technology, people have different expectations of where they spend their time, whether or not they leave their house. So perhaps we can share the same information or most of that information in a different way that's more geared to the way people are living and consuming information right now.
Put it on TikTok. Probably could get placed.
Well, you'll get everyone under 20.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, any other thoughts, comments?
Regan.
Yes.
Yeah, these are great ideas. And this is actually something I talked to Carla about. For those who don't know Carla, she's our communications and marketing manager. So she handles all of our social media. We've been talking about creating short videos that tell the story of kind of the MPD and the issues that we're wanting to get out. So this falls right in line with what we're trying to do. Jennifer, you mentioned Maple Valley short videos. That's actually a platform I did a demo with a few months ago. It was kind of expensive for what we're wanting to do, but we're considering just kind of doing something similar in-house.
Cheaper is better. Love it.
Yeah.
Thanks, Regan.
Yep.
Cool. The last bullet point under it all is the Aquatic Recreation Center, which I don't think you need me to tell you that we all want it. We want it yesterday. We'll do whatever we can to get it. It's going to be amazing for our community. We're behind it as a commission. We'll support it, whatever we can. So it's going to be fantastic. Yeah. Did I cover it all? Anybody else want to chime in with anything there?
No, I think, and that's also, I think, what our citizenry is looking for. You know, they love the pool. They would love to see it expanded. So I don't think there's any doubt about that.
Yeah. Yes, Wes.
I've gone to a couple of networking events and talked specifically about the whole health portion of the aquatic center. And there are some organizations like the Paralyzed Veterans of America that are very interested in seeing this as possible, like a site for them to come and use as well for their programming. And they specifically come up with like adaptive stuff to do in pools as well. So it'd be a couple amazing partners that are in the area outside of Covington that are very interested in the pool too.
Cool. That would be great. We need more adaptive recreation opportunities for sure.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, flipping to the back. So this is our future. Looking ahead, this is kind of what we see as important for us in Covington. We almost, I think, sort of talked a little bit about this. when we did this first bullet point promoting our parks, we were thinking more in terms of like activation. It never fails that one of us on the commission will run across our neighbor and they're like, oh, I didn't even know there was a park 5 minutes away. And they have no idea, like the people who live around me, my neighbor Kitty Corner just discovered Jenkins Creek Park in July. She had been living there for 5 years. She was thrilled. She's like, oh, it's a great place to walk my dog, which is fantastic, but 5 years and she didn't even know it was there. So that was kind of the thought of like, how do we bring more awareness that we have parks and where they are. So especially some of the smaller ones like Friendship Park, Crystal View, these are neighborhood parks. They're a little bit older. They're not as sexy compared to CCP. They're maybe not as exciting, but they're still there. They're still there for the community. And it's definitely a space that can be utilized. So we were kind of brainstorming like, okay, how can these be utilized? And so these are some of the things that the Parks Department is doing, which you may or may not be aware of, or they're planning to do very shortly. So the park pop-ups was kind of a new thing that happened, I think 2 or 3 summers ago, and it just keeps growing and expanding. It was very well received. So there were 10 at CCP, but we could look at doing it at other parks. Like some of the challenges with that, with like the smaller neighborhood parks, are parking. A planned launching in 2026 is geocaching. And so activating parks, sending people to different places in our parks for geocaching. The town center lawn, you guys know that has been activated with the Maker's Mark, the drive-in movies, the Fall Fest. And so repeating these to draw more people there, but then also we have Founders Park right across the street. So I don't know, maybe there could be some type of connection somehow. And then Facebook, there's a media campaign to like highlight different park sites. And, you know, Facebook is kind of hit or miss because the algorithm does what the algorithm does, but at least it's out there. So, okay. Anything, Commission, you want to throw in about that?
I think,
Mackenzie, then Wes.
okay. I was just gonna say, I think maybe there could even be a way to tie in different things we're talking about, like the park features on Facebook, and maybe doing little snippets of video or interview with people in the community talking about the parks that people might not know about, and putting them out on the social media platforms.
Because they share them.
Yeah.
Go to CCP and interview people.
That's what I was just thinking of, like man on the street. That would be really cool.
Yeah.
Mom in a swing.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay, Wes, jump in.
For sure, just going back to the education piece about the parks, like I live across the street from Wood Creek, which has Friendship Park, and I didn't know that it was a Covington park that anyone could go to. I thought it was a neighborhood park, and so being able to educate the community that there are these neighborhood parks that are in a neighborhood, but you as a Covington citizen can go to this park and enjoy it as well, is something that we've talked about trying to breach with these different ideas.
One of the things that is kind of in process for the future is to evaluate the user experience for our registration software, ActiveNet. ActiveNet is a little clunky on both sides, but there's probably some things that could be done to improve the user experience. So the Parks Department is talking about launching a focus group for people who often use ActiveNet and like seeing what can be done. So the example I threw out is if I'm a mom and I search for swimming lessons in ActiveNet, I will get no results. I have to type in learn to swim. So
I would say swimming is the most difficult thing.
It's really difficult. So there's probably some alibis or some aliases that we can put in to connect information together. But you know, park staff probably isn't registering their kids for Covington swimming lessons, so they're not having the same user experience. So providing a focus group of people who actively use it to give feedback to improve it so that it's better for everybody.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, so that's something that's in the pipes.
And I might suggest if you get interest from folks that maybe haven't used it that much too, because then you can have a diverse group of user experience.
Yes.
People that are experienced or not with it.
Following,
right?
yeah. And then I'm just gonna bump through really quick special facilities. One thing that we are always talking about is a dog park. We know that's a need in our community. We know it's a desire. They're super hard to cite, very hard to locate just due to space issues, noise issues, mess issues. We also know that it puts a demand on maintenance. So it's one of those things that's on our radar, but we have no solution yet. We have talked about maybe a pop-up dog park, but the problem is when you have a pop-up dog park, then you have basically promised a dog park. So when that pop-up dog park goes away, then there's no dog park, and that can make things really awkward. So pickleball courts are coming in Founders Park. So that's, of course, when they're going to be built. Nobody really knows, but they are in the plans. So, but I wanted to bump down to the very last one, which is security cameras, because I know that that's something that council has talked about. And so I just wanted to share with you guys what we were talking about or what we were seeing in Parks Commission. So this discussion in the commission came out of Jesse's report showing pictures of some of the vandalism at CCP, which I don't know if you guys saw any of those. They were like, that toilet paper thing was impressive.
That was
it was awful, but wow. And then the break-in at the concession stand. And so again, that triggered like, well, do we have cameras there? And why don't we have cameras there? I happen to know a little bit just because I'm married to Mason, and Mason likes to talk, so he talks to me. So there's a cost to getting a good quality camera that's actually useful for the police. And I'm sure you guys are aware of that. But as a commission, we want you to know that we support the use of cameras, whatever can be done. We're concerned about the vandalism too, the cost, the stress that it puts on the maintenance department. We have no solutions for you in terms of like this magic thing will make it all go away. But we support that idea as your citizen representatives, I guess. Did I say that well enough, Commission? Yeah. Anybody want to throw anything else in there?
No, I think also, we worked so hard to get the funding for these facilities, and then to see them so significantly vandalized or, damaged is just heartbreaking, because then we know like, okay, now we have to put more money, into from an already stressed budget perspective. Now we've got to find more money. We've got to find money to fix this. Now we have to close this. And so it's just so sad. I mean, if there was some way to deter it and maybe security cameras would be that deterrent that we're looking for. So we are definitely interested in some sort of security measure.
Yeah. We just want you to know it's on our radar. And so
ours too.
Yeah.
We had a robust conversation about that during our budget session,
Okay.
and not just a camera, but something that will alert police in real time so that they can get there, hopefully.
Right. Yeah.
A helpful camera.
That type of system.
Cameras aren't effective unless, it doesn't matter if you have their face on the camera, even if you give that to the police. It doesn't matter. The police has to be there live in real time.
Yeah. So there's basically one type of system that will work, and it's the most expensive one. I think that's what it kind of works down to. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Yes. So, the other thing that I skipped over to get to security cameras because I just wanted to make sure we had time in case that ended up being more of a conversation. The Kent School District, we're grateful for them. We're grateful to use their facilities. It's always a little bumpy, I guess. And so we were just kind of talking as the commission, like, is there anything we can do to help them? Is there anything we can do to make this better? It's just one of those things that's kind of, we're aware of. Again, it's on our radar. We don't have any magic bullet solution, but like, yeah, we recognize that we have to cooperate with them and share with them in order to have the rec programs that we want to have, because we just don't have the space. Which is another reason why we really want that full health community center. But did I miss anything, Commission, in that? Okay, cool.
I think we covered it all.
So that was everything that I had prepared on here. I mean, we can totally be done and take a break. I also had, if you guys wanted to see it, we do have the results from the MPD survey of like what the citizens prioritized in terms of what they want to see done. I don't know if you guys have seen that already. Got it. Okay, perfect. You don't need to see it. So you're good to go. Okay. Any final questions, comments?
I just want to say thank you. Great. You each should be very proud of what you do representing Covington and all that you do for Parks and Rec Commission and the entire community. And I know that you've been involved a long time, and Connie's been involved a long time. This will be your second MPD you've gone through. And thank you, thank you. Just from all of us, thank you all for all the hard work you do. So it's greatly appreciated. So.
Well, it's a joy. We
I don't
always
think
enjoy
we'd
it.
be as far as we are without this. So thank you all.
Thank you very much.
With that, we'll close this study session and our council meeting will start at 7. So thank you. Thank you all.